What is up, guys? Today I am here to talk to you about the fact that McDonald's is probably part of the Illuminati. Now, that may or may not sound crazy to you, but there's actually quite a bit of information pointing towards this as being true. As far as I could find, the main trigger that started this conspiracy theory was a blogger by the name of Bruce, who claimed that Ronald McDonald is a mascot representing Satan and is being used to make children more susceptible to Satanism. The rumors that seem to have spread from that is that McDonald's is using monarch mind control in their ads, which is related to MK Ultra, which was a real thing that happened. Some of the other rumors is that the golden arches forming the M is actually representative of a sideways 13, which corresponds to 13 members of a traditional Wiccan coven. And that the arches are also a double rainbow, which is a representation of the monarch mind control or the two Masonic pillars from Freemasonry. These seem kind of far-fetched. I mean, it's McDonald's. McDonald's was the last name of the founders, Dick and Mac. So it's kind of, far-fetched to say, oh, well, it's actually this Illuminati symbols. But I found a article, well, it was more like a forum post from a user named Psalms5117 on a website called endtimesandcurrentevents.freemfhosting.com, who gave a lot of information that really kind of proves that McDonald's probably really is in the Illuminati, because they point out some things that don't really make sense with their business strategies otherwise. So as I said, McDonald's was founded by Dick and Mac McDonald, but in 1961 the company was purchased by Ray Kroc, and this user remembers having seen an interview with him on the Mike Douglas show, where he admitted that he was part of a satanic church and that he donated most of his money to that church. What was weird is that this user remembers this. They had not known any rumors or gossip about McDonald's at the time, but there is no proof that they have been able to find of this interview existing. So could it be a Mandela Effect, as in it happened, but it doesn't, exist in this timeline that we are currently on? Or could this be a cover-up because the Illuminati doesn't want everyone to know that McDonald's is part of them? Some points that show that this possibly was a cover-up is that they've gone as far as to having this theory debunked in an actual book called Satan Wants You, which was talking about satanic conspiracy theories. McDonald's board of directors had forced Kroc to deny ever making the claim that he was part of the satanic church. However, he claimed that this rumor had come from an interview that he did with Phil Donahue instead of Mike Douglas. So, I don't know. But some of the things that they point out that really makes it seem that they are part of the Illuminati is that Ray Kroc is a known member of the Bohemian Grove, which is fake, maybe not fake, sacrifices to the owl god. Alright, so some of the things that Psalms 51:17 state are that McDonald's slaughterhouse workers have claimed that during the slaughtering process, they are required to mix in raw blood back into the meat. What would be the point of that? To make it taste better? But would it really? This user thinks that this might be part of a blood ritual, which, again, seems a bit far-fetched, but blood does seem to be a strong component in spells, especially if you're doing something on a negative side, like the Illuminati. There's also been a lot of rumors that McDonald's Meat is not, just plain like hamburger meat that they say. There's rumors that, it's human flesh, it's all these other things. And this user's cousin said that the McNuggets were actually ground up chicken parts that are only dyed white, as opposed to their claimed white meat that we are eating. And in my search, I found a video that actually shows the chicken McNuggets under a microscope, and let me just say, I found it disgusting, and it really makes you question what is getting into the meat. The article said like parts of bone and stuff that would be normal, but it also makes you wonder what maybe is in there besides anything relating to a chicken. I don't know. The link is below if you want to check it out. I found it disgusting. Not that I'm going to eat at McDonald's anyways, but after seeing that, I will definitely not eat a chicken McNugget. McDonald's actually went to trial for exploiting children with misleading advertising, cruelty to animals, and low payment to their workers. This trial was closed as libel since they were not able to prove all of the points. But in 1999, McDonald's was tried again for causing heart disease and having employment issues. The trial was brought to light that McDonald's food was linked to serious diseases such as cancer, heart disease, obesity, and diabetes. As a population, we are wanting healthier food. We are wanting more healthy choices, and yet McDonald's will not provide any healthy choices. Even their supposedly healthier choices, like their salads, are not healthy whatsoever for you, regardless. And they are known for loading up unhealthy ingredients, including GMOs and toxic chemicals. And they have been responsible for food poisoning. And it's been shown that McDonald's food does not deteriorate for years. And we're putting that into our bodies. So the question is, why would they want us to eat this? Why would they want us to eat unhealthy food when that goes against supply and demand? And why would they want us to put food into our bodies that may not even be digesting properly if it's not deteriorating for years? I mean, the only logical conclusion would be that, they want us to be unhealthy. They want us to be addicted to it. But why would they want us to be unhealthy? I don't know. Illuminati? According to at least one source, the U.S. government has given $40 million in public tax money to McDonald's for setting up restaurants, yet they wrote it off as foreign policy. Why would the government be so involved with McDonald's unless they were in on the whole idea of let's make people unhealthy so that they die sooner and we don't have to pay Social Security? McDonald's is also known for helping to destroy the environment. Besides their mistreatment of animals, McDonald's also destroys the rainforest in order to raise and feed their cattle. They consume over 1 million tons of packaging packaging each year and have lied about their recycling habits, promote hunger by purchasing low quality products from third world countries and then producing high resource intensive products. Directly quoting the user's Psalms, it requires 2,500 gallons of water, 1 gallon of oil, and 12 pounds of grain to produce 1 pound of hamburger meat. 70% of all U.S. grain now goes to feed animals for human consumption. So just think about the fact, if we did not eat as much meat, or even just if McDonald's did not produce so much meat, then we would be able to feed so many more people. Going back to the idea of mind control, McDonald's heavily advertises to children. Well, who's purchasing their products? It's parents. It's not the children. So why would they want to target the children? Well, because McDonald's knows that the earlier you begin your eating habits, the more likely you are to continue those habits. And so they're trying to sink their claws into the children so that they can have them for the longevity of their life. But is it just as simple as that? Studies have shown that diet impacts our behavior, that a fast food diet results in slower learning and greater problem behaviors in children. One example of this was when a school with troubled children switched to diets of healthy organic foods, and they saw a complete shift in their behavior. So, would McDonald's be trying to lead us to having a dumbed down society with more troubled behaviors? Or are they just trying to, gain more consumer bias or consumer loyalty for the long haul? If that isn't enough to make you think that this might be true, the McDonald's family themselves actually dates back to Druidism and the Knights Templar. Some of the notable McDonalds are Edmund B. MacDonald, another member of the Bohemian Grove, Harold D. MacDonald, high-ranking occultist in the SRICF, which is a branch of the SRIA, which started many of the satanic Kabbalist groups, Professor Dr. James E. McDonald, whose suicide by CIA after discovering involvement with UFOs, and Ramsay MacDonald, British Prime Minister during the 1920s, that had insider info and was favored for working with communist Russia. Quoting Psalms again, Ramsay MacDonald was a member of the Fabian Society working for a socialist one-world government. He rubbed shoulders with Anne Besant and Clark, a disciple of the Illuminati Symbols. Also, according to the policeman who found Lee Harvey Oswald after JFK was assassinated, the murderer was also a McDonald. There was more information that I found on this topic, but this was the most condensed that I could come up with to present these topics. If there's anything that you would like to point out, feel free to do so in the comments. Let me know your thoughts, and if you have any other, pieces of evidence pointing that this is possibly the case.